Hello, it's Shawnee. Welcome back. We're in the office today. Well, I'm in the office. I don't know where you are. Haven't been here in 2 weeks because of the crazy weather last week. But yeah, I'm going to do my makeup, tell you how my week has been so far, and hopefully get to some news also. So I have on this sweater. This is from Torrid. I have like 4 of these, 5, just because I like it. So soft and stretchy and roomy and cute. And then, oh child, I have on jeans from Torrid also, and then boots. Wait a minute, I think these are from Torrid also. Hello, fashion. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with makeup. I think I'll start with my Honey Halo moisturizer. So the week started out with taking Rose to the vet. Now, just for her yearly exam. Now, after each vet appointment, I'm already nervous for the next one. And that reason is because getting this girl in the crate. It's just such, it's like, I've done all the things, okay? I leave the crate out in the living room. I put treats in there. I like do all the things, right, that you're supposed to get your cat like acclimated to it and not afraid of it. Child, that'll make a difference for Rose. She will go kind of in, grab the treat, and then come back out. But more and more, she's going all the way in, even turning around. But when it came to getting her in that crate on Monday, child, it was a fight. It was a fight almost to the death. So usually what I do is grab her in a towel, blanket, sheet, whatever. I learned not to do the sheet because she can slip back and out, right? And then the blanket is just bulky, so I got a towel. First, I closed off all the exits. And then this is the NYX Proof It. I don't even know if there's any left in here. And then, you know, I'm just like, oh, everything's okay, la 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 la, you know. And then I like put the towel on the couch because that's where we were sitting. Oh wait, that's on my screen. Because that's where we were sitting. And, you know, I'm like, oh, Rose, you're so cute. Oh my god. And I grab her. And she's like, I know what you're trying to do, bitch. And then I am shoving her into the crate, and she hisses at me. And I was like, I know you did not. And that's when I was like, now you for real going in the crate. Anyway, so I got her in there. She cries the whole time. I went to like warm up the car because, hello, it was 17 degrees. And I was like, I'm warming up the car so you can be comfy. She cries the whole way there. Our vet is 7 minutes away. Poops in the carrier, you know, the huge. And then we get there and I call. I don't know if they do this for all cats. Mind you, I parked across like 2 spaces. Oops. So I call and I'm like, hi, I'm here with Rose and we're here for our appointment. And I think typically what they do is for cats, they like, or you can tell me if it's different. Like, once they have the room ready, that's when they, like, get you in there. Because, you know, there are dogs and other stuff in the waiting area. Or, I don't know, maybe they just do it for Rose. So, the appointment went well. She lost half a pound, which is good. Met with Dr. Bishop this time. Everything's good. She does have a bit of an ear infection. So, now I've been having to put medicine in her ear and, like, go like this, and you know, sometimes I do a good job, sometimes I don't. And when we got back from the vet, Miss Ma'am was not speaking to me. She was not speaking to me for like half the day. She was looking at me like betrayal, you know, Judas. I brought with me my side-by-side nude palette baby from Nobla Cosmetics. I just want to do something simple. I have 6 people back to back today. The first 3 are coming in to the office, and then the last 3 are virtual. And I think I have a new person coming on Friday. I always get nervous and anxious before new people because I'm like, I hope they like me. But if they don't, you know, if we don't connect, I usually give them referrals for someone else because not always the best choice for everyone. In terms of meeting their therapy goals. I feel like as a therapist, you gotta like get used to that. Clients will break up with you real fast and quick. So the other thing that happened, I go to yoga pretty regularly, right? Some classes are more active, some are more like restorative and chill. So Monday, I went to 2 classes. One was like, no, well, the Monday ones, I feel like they've kind of switched to just being more restorative because they've like switched around things with the new year. And Tuesday, I usually go to the 9 a.m. class. But I was tired. I was like, I don't think I'm going to go. But because of who I am, I was like, I gotta go. So I was like, well, I'm going to go later in the evening. So I wanted to go at 5 because I need to go to bed earlier on Tuesdays because I come into the office pretty regularly on Wednesdays and I have to leave at like 6 something in the morning. Yeah, this is drying out. We're not going to be using this much longer. Actually, we're not going to ever use this again. So I think I'm going to take that off. It's like super dry on my eyelids. Anyway, so I was like, let me go to the 5 o'clock. Now, the 5 o'clock I've been avoiding. It's a new class, and it's with the owner of the studio, a black woman, and I've been to her class before, and she was legit pregnant, and it was such a hard class. I'm like, are you a superwoman? But child, so I walk in and I'm like, hey, I'm super nervous. You know, they know me and stuff. And she's like, have you ever done power? I'm like, no, I've never done power yoga. So it's only 6 of us in the class, okay? Child, when I tell you, I asked Jan and Erica to never let me go to that class again. Y'all, I ain't never. Now, I used to do yoga a long time ago. I used to be able to do all the fancy poses, and then I stopped going and started doing other things. Well, so I've been like a year back into yoga. But I'm not the same age I was, right? A couple years ago. I think I'll go into the shade baby. I'm not the same age I was, not the same flexibility. Oh, y'all, why didn't you tell me? Let's use this, just NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. So I'm like, but you know, I could do some stuff. That was the hardest class I've ever taken. Point blank period. Like the hardest, okay? Girl, she had us in downward dog. Do you know downward dog? She had to look it up online, which downward dog very much part of most yoga classes. But then she had us doing like high knees on the our arms are down. We're like in that sort of like a V shape, right? With your butt in the air, and she had us doing high knees. When I tell you each breast was hitting me in the chin, I was like, I didn't prepare for this, because when I'm doing any kind of running, I need to strap myself in, okay? And I have a method. So that was hard. And then this woman, she had us go from down dog with one leg in the air. So that's what, up, no, 3-legged dog. Then she wanted us to come down like chaturanga without bringing our leg down. And then she wanted us to, hold on, wait, let me back up. No, this is the one. She wanted us to bring our knee to our elbow, let's say we're using the right leg. Knee to elbow right, knee to elbow left, knee to elbow right, and keep coming, and then put your thigh on top of your. That was, and then we had to do it again. That was only what, I'm never going again, okay? I know my strengths, and I don't have enough strength to do that class. I mean, I could go again, but I just, like, I was sweating, like if I had been running through the fields. No. Like, I got angry. I was so angry. I almost left. But I was like, I'm not a punk. Y'all, if you ever hear me talking about, oh, I'm going to go to power yoga, please jump through this screen and tell me not to. Anyway, but my week has still been better than some folks. There was this lady in Florida, of course, and she was on, it was either probation or parole. I think she was on probation. Now, back in the day when I was in training, I worked at a community agency, and lots of the clients were on probation and parole. So community agency, that typically means you are working a lot. Like, you have a population that is high need. You're working too much, getting paid too little. But I was like an extern, intern, whatever, so I wasn't getting paid at all. It was super hard, but this was probably the best training experience I've ever had. The level of intensity and just outright craziness in terms of everything was just, I don't know that I've ever experienced that in any other setting. Anyway, so I had like an understanding of probation and parole, but I had I had not ever had any clients that had been on probation or parole. This is gonna make sense. So I remember once this client came in, that's a lot darker than I expected. This client came in and was frustrated because, I don't know why, but they had to come in, and I was asking why they were there, and they were like, oh, I dropped dirty, so now I gotta come in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, totes, you know, super hard. Thanks for coming in. So we have the session, and I go to my clinical supervisor at that time, and I was like, sir, Ted, what's drop dirty mean? I didn't realize that means that you failed your urine test, like your drug test. And I'm like, that makes sense. Because honestly, I had no effing clue. And I just remember, I was just so like cute and young. I remember the outfit I wore for my first day and had the most interesting client of my career. So, but now I'm like learning the lingo, right? So I say that because now I've had experience with people who have to take like drug tests for probation or parole. So this lady in Florida, I think she's like in her 40s, but she's on probation for, they don't say what. So she had to do a drug test. Now, when you do a drug test, if I remember correctly, just like when you have to give a urine sample at the doctor, go in the bathroom, pee in a cup, right? So they try to make sure that you're not like using someone else's urine. So typically, you know, you can't go in the bathroom with stuff with you and all that jazz. Now, she does her urine sample, comes out, and they're like, something's weird about this. And she finally tells them that it's not her urine, it's her aunt's dog's urine. Now, I was just expecting her to say her aunt's urine, not her aunt's dog. And they didn't reveal how she got it in there, because you're not supposed to be able to get anything in, right? For the whole purpose of people not lying and using somebody else's urine or something. So they don't know how she got it in. Second, they don't know how she actually got the urine. Y'all, how she get that urine? How she do that? Ew. First of all. And then, second of all, how? 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 And if you know, don't bother telling me on this one. I know sometimes I ask, like, how did this happen? Please don't tell me. I don't need to know this one. We can just leave this one alone. But I am curious as to how she did this, because just thinking of how dogs urinate, like usually they're just like, you know, mind you, last night we had to have our leg at a 90 degree and do circles. First it had to be the size of a tennis ball, then it had to be the size of a basketball, then it had to be the size of a hula hoop. Jesus fucking Christ. So this, like, what? How did I don't even know how she do that. No, I was gonna say tell me what you think. Don't tell me how you just. I kind of want you to tell me how that would work, but then I kind of also don't, because it just feels like, you know, you can know too much, and I just don't want to know this. You can know too much. But she came clean, unlike her urine test. She came clean, and I mean, I'm pretty sure her probation got revoked. But WTF, my dude. WTF, because I'm also thinking of the thought process, which I always like to kind of figure out, like, what was the thought process behind this. So she knows that she has to give a urine test, and it sounds like she was pretty certain that she wasn't going to pass. She wasn't going to pass with flying colors. She wasn't going to pass at all. So then she's like, okay, well, let me figure out what I could do, right? But she didn't even ask. She didn't ask a human. Mind you, she didn't ask the dog. Like, how did the dog know this is what you're going to use his urine for? I don't know that he would consent to that. Like, you didn't even give him a chance to say yay or nay, and you over here, how you get the urine? How did she get the urine? Maybe she took the dog for a walk, and when the dog was going to pee, she like got like a cup or a vial. She had to get a cup, right? Or a bowl, and she just jumped in front of the tree and like caught the urine. And how she get it inside the place? I really wish they had given more details, but they didn't. Maybe they don't want other people trying it. I don't know. But how did you think that was gonna work? How did you think that was gonna work? You didn't think about that. But I get. Like, I would like to speak to her and find out, like walk me through what happened, you know? Just help me understand. I'm thinking it might have been better to just not pass, right? Because now she's got like a tampering with urine charge. So now you got more on your record. That's the craziest one I've heard about, like, urine tests, because, you know, a lot of times people try to use someone else's, typically a human's, urine, but she decided to go with a canine. I don't know. I'm going with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm in Universal. How'd she do that? I'm just real. Y'all, I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. I am flabbergasted. I'm stuck on this because I'm really curious. I mean, there's part of me that's curious, and then there's part of me that is not. I'm okay with not knowing. Y'all. Okay, oftentimes when I'm coming into the office, or just when, oops, I want a treat, I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts. I prefer Dunkin' over Starbucks. I used to do Starbucks all the time, and then I don't even know how to switch over to Dunkin'. I think part of it was when I moved. Initially, my apartment was next to a Starbucks, but then when I moved, my house is closer to Dunkin'. So I was like, well, I'm gonna start doing Dunkin'. Let's see how it is. And now I love it. Now, initially, there are like 3 Dunkins in my area, but of course I go to the furthest one because I just feel like their coffee is better somehow. Like, I don't know, it's the same, right? But I don't know. So I love me some Dunkin'. At this point, I go ahead and I do a mobile order. I go to the drive-thru, and I'm like, hi, I placed a mobile order. They're like, for who? You give them your name, and then you drive up to the thing, and you go ahead and order or pick up your order. I think I'm gonna start with concealer because I think my foundation might be dark. So let's just try some concealer first. So I was, it's not funny. I was reading this story. You're gonna hate me once you hear why I'm laughing, because it's inappropriate. In Florida, again, because honestly everything happens in Florida, right? So this man, Paul Kerouac, is seeking more than $100,000. I don't know where I was getting $3,000. $100,000 from Dunkin' in Orlando. And it's for severe long-term injuries. Now, first thing you might think is like maybe like he spilled hot coffee on himself or something, or I don't know. He fell. No. It is, let me tell you the story. Paul went into the restroom at Dunkin'. Maybe he ordered a chai latte or like, an espresso. And he was just like, I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick. Child. The toilet exploded. Okay, I'm sorry. The toilet exploded. Now, I don't know if Paul took a real big poop and like the toilet was like, girl, we can't handle that. Because I'm thinking that I don't think toilets spontaneously erupt. I don't know. You might know, and you might be like, actually, they do. I haven't had that experience. But the toilet exploded in the men's room. And you could just imagine, besides debris, what else came out that toilet? The stuff that's supposed to go down. I don't know if it was Paul's stuff. I don't know if it was other people's stuff. Whatever it is, he got all over him, right? And that's where the lady could have gotten the urine sample. They both in Florida. That's where she could have gotten the urine sample, but she was being extra and went for the dog. So Paul comes out of the restroom after trying to relieve his bladder, and who knows what else he was trying to relieve. And he goes to, allegedly, he goes to the counter. I'm sorry, Paul. He goes Winter Park, Florida. I know exactly where that is. He walks out of the restroom and, you know, he wants to talk to the manager. Appropriate, right? Who, like, what else you gonna do? He wants to talk to the manager, which he should. And he says that an employee told him, oh yeah, we know about the problem with the toilet. And that there had been previous incidents, though they didn't give details as to what the previous incidents were. I'm just kind of like assuming that the previous incidents weren't the toilet exploding, because then, well, then I would expect maybe naively that they would have closed the bathroom or like put a sign. So Paul's pissed at Paul's pissed, as he should be, and he decides he's gonna file a lawsuit. As would I. We'll talk about how we would all respond, okay? As would I. I would definitely file a lawsuit against Duncan. And it seems like he suffered bodily injuries as well as requiring mental health care and counseling. Which, yes, that mess is tragic and traumatizing. You go, oh, Jesus Christ, Paul, I hope you weren't like on the toilet. That girl. But maybe if he was on the toilet, he might not have made it out. Because I don't know that he would have made it out, girl. That's intense. So he's suing. I guess the paper tried to contact his lawyer, and the lawyer was like, I don't have time to talk about this, and didn't call him back. But I'm hoping that Paul gets some money from Duncan. And I don't know if he's suing the franchise or just the one that he went to. What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Like, I'm just imagining, okay? I'm just imagining. This is how I imagine it. Paul is like, let me get my coffee, and then I'm going to go ahead and go on to work. Do this all the time, no big deal. Oh, you know what? I got to use the bathroom real quick, so I'm going to go in. I'm not going to go through the drive-thru. I'm going to go in. Hey, guys, like, I'd like my regular coffee, blah, blah, but I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick. And then all hell break loose. And then I'm just imagining all this stuff on Paul. I'm just imagining all this stuff on Paul as he walks out of the bathroom. Like, were there other patrons in the place? Why did was it bad? It's bad, but like, why was the employee just like, oh yeah, we've heard that there were problems in there? Like, did it not? Because exploding to me sounds bad, right? It wasn't just a little spray. Like, it exploded. Like, that don't sound good, right? That don't sound good. You know it don't. So, I'm just like, so you come out the bathroom and you're like, I want to talk to the manager appropriately. So, like, what you gonna do? Get back in your car and drive somewhere? Ew. And he said bodily injury. I imagine. Poor Paul, y'all. Because people be listen, why they always have to put everybody's full government name out there? full government name. Because now everybody knows that Paul Kerouac had an accident in the restroom. And it's not the kind of accident you would expect. It really isn't. It like really isn't. So I hope Paul, I probably would have sued for a little more than 100,000. That's not enough. That's not enough. Because now I'm traumatized. I can't even use the toilet at home. Like, that's probably gonna cause like some constipation and stuff, because I just don't feel comfortable sitting on toilets no more. Like, I have to go to a therapist for mental health counseling. Like, my life has totally changed. And could you imagine calling your boss to tell them why you're not at work? And then your boss is like, Paul, that sounds ridiculous. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in. This is not what your PTO is for. And then your boss looks at the news and they're like, oh, snap. Didn't he work for us? I feel bad because Paul is traumatized, which, of course. But the level of ridiculousness, I've never heard that. Some of y'all are probably like, oh, I've heard about something like that. I've never in life heard anything like this. Poor Paul, y'all. I'm also imagining someone coming into my office and telling me, like, the thing is, I don't know that my usual trauma-informed therapy approach would work. I'm not sure. I would be like, girl, what? I will support this lawsuit because, can't nobody argue with that. I don't think there's any way that they could find any fault on Paul. You know what I mean? I don't like, what would they say? Well, you shouldn't have flushed the toilet. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's no arguing with the man. I think they should just give him the money. Just give him the money. And I'm surprised his lawyer doesn't have him asking for more. I'm just trying to think if he went on like Judge Judy or something. Like, Judge Judy would definitely rule in his favor, right? I feel more concerned for Paul than I do for homegirl who tried to pass dog urine off as her own. Anyway, there was this marathon runner in China and he got disqualified. Like, there's a couple things that can disqualify you from a race. His disqualification was because he was chain smoking through the entire race. Now, I've run a marathon. You already can't breathe. Because you're running 26.2 miles, okay? Don't forget the 0.2. And this man, listen, he ran it in a little over 3 hours. That's pretty good, okay? That's pretty good. I was far behind him. But he was chain smoking the whole time. I don't know if he was expecting to win. Probably not. And he's 52 years old. He has got to be in some hella good shape to be able to chain smoke during a marathon and still make it across the finish line. Ran the whole time. It doesn't even look like he walked or nothing. He ran the whole time while smoking. First of all, where did he put the lighter and the cigarettes? Where in his little pants did he do that? Because it doesn't look like he had on any sort of pouch or anything. Here's the thing, though. He did it before, and they didn't say nothing. They were like, do you, boo? But I guess they might have changed the rules since last year when he ran it. And now they're like, that's inappropriate. I would think it's like because it would distract the other runners and stuff. Because I'm like, if he could do it, like, more power to him, you know? He's 52 and running a marathon, first of all, coming in like a little over 3 hours. And it doesn't seem like the smoking really slowed him down too much. Like he was a couple minutes off his personal record. I guess he just needed a smoke break. Like, there's not much that you can do when you're running a marathon. Like, it's not like you can like read a book or something. I mean, you can do an audiobook, I guess, and some music. I've never heard of anyone chain smoking throughout the entire thing. I would imagine that part of the rule is because of other people around you. Like, I can't be breathing this smoke while I'm trying to run this marathon. Like, that's like, it may be helpful for you, sir, and I think they call him uncle. It may be helpful for you, unk, but, you know, it's kind of slowing me down. So the last story is about this man. I think it might be in Florida again. Let me see, because he made some interesting choices. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's in Tennessee. He was part of the Air National Guard. Now, have you heard of the website called rentahitman.com? Don't do it. Do not do it. Basically, this started out as a it was supposed to be like some kind of project, like a tech project or something. Do I have two of these in here? I didn't know that. Some kind of tech project, but it didn't go through. So the developer of the app, or I'm sorry, the website, kind of made a joke out of it and decided to keep it up. This was in like 2005. Keep it up as a joke, just like satirical, right? Here's the thing though, there have been a couple of people who have gone ahead and gone to this website, not realizing that it's not like you can't rent a hitman, and they have put in requests to have people killed. As you do, right? They have put in these requests. So oftentimes they get in a little bit of legal trouble because you just can't be doing it. You can't be walking around renting hitman. And what I don't ever understand, has it ever worked to hire a hitman? Because every story I hear is that it doesn't work. I'm not gonna try it. Dang, I forgot my mascara. Okay, so let's use an eyeliner. See if we can make this work. So this National Guardsman decides that he needs a job because, or he needs extra income because he has a baby on the way, okay? So he happens upon this website and he applies for a job. He applies for a job as a hitman. So what the owner of the domain and the website does, typically he contacts the police. So this time he contacted the FBI and he's like, someone's applying for the job and has requested that they, you know, get the job and become a hitman. So the FBI is like, all right, keep it going. do a phone interview. He does the phone interview. And the dude is like, you know, you can back out. This isn't for everybody. And he's like, no, I'm keen on doing this, you know? Like, this is what I want to do. I need to make some money for my baby, probably for the baby mama. You know, that I just need some extra dollars, and I'm trained, think I can do it, think I'm the right man for the job. This is working, I think, to make it look like I have a little something going on. So, let me see something. He said he has military experience and rifle expertise. So he wanted to be nicknamed Reaper, right? So he submitted a resume. He talked about his Air National Guard stuff, and the Military Times is like, it remains unclear whether he submitted a cover letter or 3 professional references. y'all are cheeky. And so so, you know, rather than looking for a job that doesn't involve completing hits out on people, he said that he was you know, looking for something like this for quite a while, and he wanted to make good money. Understood. He also said that he was comfortable with taking fingers or ears as trophies or performing torture at clients' request. And they were like, look, dude, you don't have to do this. You still have time to back out. He didn't. And so they decided that they were going to give him a task, someone to off. And they gave him a target package. So it was photographs, a description of the person, their name, height, weight, address, all that stuff. And that he would get $5,000 to kill the target. And he's like, do I need to take a photo for, like, you know, proof that the job's done? And now he's facing 10 years in prison. Because, like, you're not going to help your baby like this. Because now you fell for this scheme. I don't even know if I can say you fell for it. Like, you just walked into this scheme. You walked into it. And now you're facing charges. All of these things, I'm like, these are all things. These are all stories. I'm like, how are you going to explain this to anyone in your life? How are you going to explain that you tried to use dog urine, canine urine, I wonder what kind of dog it was, to pass off as your own in your urine test, your drug test? How are you going to explain an exploding toilet? Like, how did that happen? I would want details. How are you going to explain that you got disqualified from a marathon because you were chain smoking? And lastly, how are you going to explain to your baby, because within the 10 years, I'm guessing the baby going to be born, that in trying to save money for their future, you decided to attempt to be a hitman? Let me put my hair up and Here is the finished look, and I have a couple minutes to get myself together and therapize people for the rest of the day. So let me know what you think of these stories. Let me know what you might do in some of these situations. I'm curious. I hope that some of this was helpful, and I also hope that you're continuing to take care of yourself. Don't forget to let me know what you think of these stories. You y'all. I would love it if you like the video, and I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.